because what Andy says is they didn't say Russia was extra involved.
Have you seen now the report by the intelligence community on Russian hacking
Yes, I
the
have.
Democrats during them?
Yes, I've read it.
And?
There is overwhelming consensus in the community and overwhelming evidence supplied by the community that Russia did engage in an effort to impact on the elections. There is no evidence.
Facebook, they got in through the front door there. The NRA, they might have gotten in. Is all this proof of collusion? Well, perhaps not. Does this mean Donald Trump won the election because of the Russians? Not at all. But it sure is remarkable how hard the Russians seem to have worked to help a New York real estate developer move to Washington, D.C.
So help me, Vlad. Let's get to tonight's big story. Me. Everyone is still talking about my big summit with Putin. It got huge ratings. Huge. I would do it all over again if I could, or maybe I would not if I could not. It's a real woulda, coulda, wouldn't, shoulda, should not, woulda, coulda, wouldn't, would not, could not, shouldn't situation. Anyway, some people are upset because I said I believe Putin more than I believe our own intelligence agencies. They're very upset. That's not true. I love our intelligence agencies.
43rd president said there was, quote, pretty clear evidence that the Russians meddled in the election.
The party of Reagan has to explain how it has become the party of Putin. Right. And when John Lewis said he was not a legitimate president, yes. I assume you're on that page.
I am on that page because he's not a legitimate president.
Did the Republican Party become Moscow tools?
The explanation for that stems largely from Donald Trump.
Russia, the country that gave the world Tetris, merkins you wear on your heads, and potentially the 45th president of the United States. Now,
so everybody knows, Russia did meddle with our elections. Not only did Russia meddle in our elections, they're doing it around the world. They did it to France. They did it to Moldova. They're doing it to the Baltics. Russia is trying to undermine democracy itself, to delegitimize democracy.
Listening to the senators on the Senate Intelligence Committee, and I know you know the leading Republican, Senator Burr, who you served with, and he said, look, this is so important, what's going on. They're investigating. Russia was involved in a covert operation to influence our election in 2016.
They're doing it to other countries right now.
Yes.
In our interview, Vladimir Putin continued to deny that the Russian government interfered in the U.S. election. Richard Haass is the president of the Council on Foreign Relations and author of A World in Disarray. Do you believe his denials on the election interference?
I don't speak Russian, but there's no word in Russian these days for freelancing. The idea that anybody in Russia would have done such things as interfere in the American elections without Vladimir Putin's personal okay is inconceivable.
Social media feed may have been part of Russia's interference in the election. The FBI's counterintelligence division investigating whether some news sites like Breitbart benefited from or colluded with Russian operatives during the campaign. The issue is how sophisticated computer bots distribute online content and articles that could help Trump and hurt Clinton. That's according to this new report by McClatchy reporters Peter Stone and Greg
Jost. I'm Michael Che. It's being reported that the CIA believes Russia influenced our presidential election in favor of Donald Trump. You see? Feel better now, popular vote?
Oh, boy. We got a bit of a bombshell over the weekend, in fact, several, about how the Russians might have tried to affect the outcome of our election. Now, a lot of people are amazed by this, but if you follow the election, my answer to whether the Russians were trying to interfere with our elections is, of course! The question is how.
Directly, do you believe Trump is a legitimate president?
What I believe is that there's no question that the outcome of this election was affected by the Russian interference with the campaign, and because our intelligence community has unequivocally stated that Russia's intent was to influence the outcome of the election in favor of Donald Trump,